over an Arsenal podcast. Sean and Richard, good evening to you, gentlemen. Actually, I'm going to come to you, Sean, first of all.
What's good about it, Saggers?
No, there's nothing. Well, I tell you what is good about it. The thing is good about it is that, you've come on. And I know what's going to be even better for the West Ham fans. They want to know. I mean, some of them have said to me all sorts of different things, like Roy is one. Moyes bought. He's been a busted flush for around 18 months. Well, he did win a European tournament last season, and you've got all of that still going on. Frustration completely today, though, for West Ham United's fans, and I understand why. Sean?
Would you believe me, we were unlucky and we deserve something from the game?
I haven't seen the game.
No, of course not. Look, I thought for the first 30 minutes, we did turn up. We were holding Arsenal. Arsenal didn't look anything special for the first 30 minutes. We were holding it. We weren't taking any chances. And I thought, we got to the half an hour mark and I thought, actually, this might not be as bad as I first thought. I was dreading it. After beating Arsenal twice already and looking for the treble, of course, I have to mention that we beat them at the Emirates and in the Cup, so we were looking for our treble. And we fell apart. On 32 minutes, the first goal went in. And I'll be honest, the players' heads went down after that first goal. And if they didn't, they went down after the second goal and the third goal. And within 12 minutes, we were 3-0 down, 4-0. Before half-time. Yeah, a lot of people left. I stayed. I'm not criticising anyone who left. You pay your money. You pay for your tickets. Up to you whether you want to leave or not. I don't think it affects professional football players. If they say that it does, I don't believe you. It's your ticket. You can walk out if you want.
Yeah. No, look, I understand all of that.
Second half, you don't come back from 4-0. Look, I know the manager said, I take personal responsibility. I know there are people who don't like the manager and have called for Moyes ball, but players need to be counted, stand up and be counted. That was just as much as a player collapse with their heads going down as it was a management. The manager played the strongest team.
Just one thing, though, and sure, Richard, I'll be coming to you in just a moment as well to talk about the other side of this. So the zonal marking that you have always had at West Ham is found out when you have a manager and a set play team who've scored more goals from set pieces than anybody else this season. Have a little different one for you, a new one for you, on the edge of the 6-yard box there, outside it. But with this opportunity, with the way 5 or 6 times they have the men to deliver, ironically Declan Rice amongst others, and it was you're just not going to be able to defend against that. The keeper couldn't get anywhere close to it. But there didn't seem to be a way you could change any of that.
I think Moyes said himself, Arsenal stepped up a gear. Fair play to Arsenal. This is the same Moyes, right, who played Arsenal a month ago and won 2-0, right? Mm-hmm. Same tactics, same players. This is a Moyes who also played them and can't beat them, right? Yeah. So something didn't happen today, and fair play to Arsenal. They stood up. Declan Rice, I've got no problem with him, right? No. He didn't sit right in front of me. What a great goal. Didn't celebrate. Actually said sorry, mouthed sorry to us in the West lower. We had Paquetá just above us, and Paquetá was watching just above us in the boxes. And afterwards, you may or not have seen this, Mark, but Declan Rice came round and actually did a lap and apologised and, was applauded by all the fans, as did, David Moyes came out at the end for the people who stayed. Yeah. And Souček and Soufal came as well. Look, it was a bad day at the office. Yeah. I don't know what else we can say. We dust ourselves off. We go, it's our 5th worst defeat ever in the history. Our last defeat, actually, I was just looking it up, 7-1 loss to Blackburn in October the 14th, 2001. So 23 years. But we just have to write it off and go, well done, Declan Rice. Well done, Arsenal.
Yeah, well said. And that's thank you for saying that, Sean, as well. And of course, you've got to see what happens next, see where you can go. As far as Richard, Arsenal are concerned, that's their best ever Premier League away performance when it comes to number of goals.
It was, yeah, and a little bit surprising maybe. I certainly wasn't expecting a result like that. I mean, I do think maybe the two defeats earlier this season to West Ham played a part today because Arsenal looked hungry for revenge. I think the game at the Emirates in particular, where we dominated that game, had 25 shots, whatever it was, and lost 2-0. And I think that was still on our minds. You could see that, yes, we was a bit slow getting going today. And once that first goal went in, you could see the whole weight was lifted from us. Yes, West Ham did seem to fall apart before half-time. There's no doubt about that. But I just thought that we looked so focused. I haven't seen this Arsenal team look that sort of... I don't know, that ruthless as what they did today. And I do think that was part of those last two defeats, particularly the one at the Emirates over Christmas, where we were so sort of certain we should have won that game with the way that we played. And today it was like, we're putting that right today. That almost must have been Mikel's team talk, I think, before the game, We should have won last time. We're going to win this one. And you could see that once we got ourselves in front, that was an impressive performance from Arsenal. And last season it was the games against Liverpool and West Ham where we'd gone 2-0 up in both those games, didn't win, and that kind of sent us on the way to blowing the title. Whereas this year now, we've just beaten Liverpool at home. We've then followed out with a win away at West Ham 6-0. And are those the lessons from last year? Have they been learnt? And are we now showing that this is going to be a different Arsenal this season? We were slow starting this season. Our performances wasn't great the first half of the season, really. But since the break, we've come back. And, you mentioned the set pieces, and Declan Rice has only just really started taking corners and free kicks. He was in the box for most of them in the first half of the season. They went away to Dubai, worked on the set pieces a little bit more. Declan's been taking them, and he's set up 3 or 4 goals from set pieces since we got back in January. So it's working, isn't it? I mean, he was brilliant today, wasn't he, Declan? And what a great gesture. If he did say sorry to the West Ham fans after scoring, I mean, it's a little bit strange. He's just scored a great goal for Arsenal, and he apologises to West Ham. That just shows what a guy he is, doesn't it? That shows his personality, and that's great, isn't it? And he played really well again today, so fantastic.
Yeah, I've always found the sort of apologising for who you play for. Even when you've played against them, I understand that some fans like all that sort of stuff and everything. For me, I think you just got to be happy for when you've had Declan and he's moved on and doing what he's doing now at Arsenal. And good on the young man. But I don't think we need to worry too much sleep. I hate it when people don't actually enjoy scoring a goal, whoever they play for, because they played for somebody else. But that's only a personal opinion. One thing I would like to say, though, to you, Richard, is that there's no doubt, as far as I'm concerned here, that they've managed, obviously, Mikel Arteta, we know the attention to detail, but they've obviously been doing an awful lot of hard work on the training ground. They, as a group, they now look so much more comfortable than they have done.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been difficult in a way because Mikel's very fixed on the style of football he wants to play. And when it works, it's fantastic, as we've seen today, we've seen on many other occasions. And it's those times when it doesn't work, that's when we've needed to, that's what we've needed to work on. But obviously, since we've come back from Dubai, you're right. I think in Dubai, they spent a lot of time working on a lot of different things. Set pieces was one. Just think the general kind of relationships in the team as well. And the way that we're building our play up now, it seems to be a little bit more direct at times, maybe a little bit more direct than it was before. We're getting, I mean, the goal that when Saka got the penalty for that second goal today, a ball through the middle. Yeah, West Ham didn't sit deep. They gave us space. And when you give Arsenal space, we're going to punish teams. And that's why most teams sit back and don't play against us. And West Ham were a bit open, but we just show we've got different ways to score goals as well now. Yes, we've got the set pieces, but we can also play some good football. And actually, today what I liked was that we were so direct through the centre as well, rather than always going down the sides and pulling it back. We actually went through the middle quite a lot today, and I like that. And it worked because we got a few goals that way. And, and shooting from distance, we need to do that more. Declan again today, brilliant. So, today was, and last week as well, we're building now something, and hopefully we're right back in there, aren't we? We looked out of it a few weeks ago, at Christmas when we were losing games, but now we're back in it. Man City are going to be tough, of course. Look at the run they're on, but we can just keep plugging away, keep playing like we did today last week, and who knows where we could end up. And
one other thing for you, Sean, on that front, of course, West Ham United have always had fans who their passion is so well known, and it's not always great passion. It's also moments like this where they feel so annoyed about the club and where the club is going. This is quite a vital time, isn't it, for David Moyes and the players now to show that they really are all as one, because there's going to be It might only be a minority, but there will be distractions now from negativity from some fans at West Ham.
That's nothing new, Saggers.
No, I know that, but I think it's, after a result like that,
you're right.
There'll be more.
We are, we're a fan base that's often divided. Whether it's Sam Allardyce or, and now David Moyes. There's lots of people that call it Moyes ball and don't like it. Whichever way you look at it, he is our most successful manager in the league. Yeah. He's won us a European title. We've got into Europe 3 times. No other manager has done that. And if you look at the statistics, the goals per, people talk about entertainment, the goals per game, points per game, the total wins, he ticks all the boxes, right? Yeah. But, and here's the big but, people don't like the style of football he plays. They call it Moyes ball. And some people, and I'm not one of them, will say, well, I'd rather play well and lose or not score the goals than watch this dross. And those people can be very, very noisy. And the ball do listen. And it's difficult because you have to be in one camp or the other, Moyes in or Moyes out. And I think, this is a critical time. My understanding is the board like Moyes and what he's done. Yeah. They respect him. Moyes likes the board. I hope neither will be swayed by the fans, but there is a chance of that. It's down to the board at the end of the day if they want to change the manager. He's out of contract in the summer, and the talks are ongoing at the moment, and we shall see which way that goes. Do they listen to the noisy people who say Moyes out, Moyes ball, dinosaur, all these things, or the people who would say he's their most successful manager in the league ever?
Yeah. Well, one question to both of you. I've said I'm talking to all. In the second hour, we're looking at financial fair play. Sean, do you feel, as a fan now, nothing more, that whichever clubs have questions to answer about financial fair play, they should all be sorted as quickly as possible, and it should all be based on not how many lawyers you've got to defend yourself, and not based on how many charges there are and complicated things. You have to get it done swiftly.
Yeah, I mean, it's slightly different cases. We've spoken about this before, where you go over and you're banged to rights like Everton and Nottingham Forest, or it's slightly more difficult to prove one way or the other with Man City. However, it shouldn't drag on. It should be done. And I think the Premier League have got an opportunity to say, let's get it done before an independent regulator comes in, or it'll be out of their hands. So, yeah.
Good point.
Got a point. They've got a chance to do it, or it'll be taken out of their hands.
Richard, what's your take?
Well, obviously, Man City should be deducted 500 points, relegated 4 divisions, and that's obviously the only fair solution, isn't it? But no, I mean, the rules seem to be a little bit unclear, don't they? No one's really sure exactly what Manchester City have done, what Everton have done, what Forest, all these other teams, and I don't know, whatever the situation is, the charges against Manchester City, obviously they're only charges, they've not been proven as yet, but you can't have that sitting over a club for 1 season, 2 seasons, however long it's been going on for now. It needs to be resolved, and they need to resolve it quickly. And I don't really, whatever the punishment is, it's not, I don't want Arsenal to win the league because Man City have been deducted points necessarily. I want to win it because we're the better team and we deserve to win it. But if that happens, that happens. But they need to get it sorted out, because it's ridiculous that, you've got Arsenal, we didn't spend any money in January. We're respecting the rules, the financial fair play. These other clubs, Newcastle, are trying to respect the financial fair play. Manchester City don't seem to care, because they know that they've been doing this. These charges go back 4, 5, 6 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that still hasn't been resolved. And it's mad that Everton are suffering. Nottingham Forest are going to suffer now. And Man City broke the rules 6, 7 years ago, and they still haven't been punished. And it's still going on, and they may never be punished just because they've got more money. It seems unfair, and I think there needs to be one rule across for everybody. If you break this rule, that rule, you get deducted 10 points. That's it. So it's like a yellow card, isn't it? You get a yellow card, you get a second yellow card, you get a ban for 1 game. If you get 1 red card, you get a ban for 3 games. Everyone knows where they are. So it should be the same with financial fair play. You break the rules, you get 10 points deducted. Everybody's the same. It doesn't matter. There's no defence of that. You've broken, as long as it's been proven they broke the rules, make the punishment the same for everyone. And then everyone knows where they are. You can't treat Bournemouth different to Man City, or you can't treat Nottingham Forest different to Liverpool. Everyone's got to be treated the same. It's one sport for everybody, one set of rules for everybody, and it needs to be sorted out. It is mad that Man City's charges haven't been resolved yet. It's ridiculous, really, isn't it? Let's be honest.
It is.
But
it is. It is, Richard. And thank you very much indeed for your passion, and Sean, for your balanced view tonight, and wish both of you and your clubs all the best, of course. We will, no doubt, speak again soon. Refs up next, Hackett and Halsey.